Hi, this is Vicki Romaine with Cheerful Greetings, and today we will be making some microscope embellishments. These are also film frames. The die cut that I used is from Sissix. You can tell it's one of the old ones because it's made out of the heavy plastic and everything. And these are what you call slide mounts. They come in 4 different patterns. The 3 that I have here, plus the circle. And I'm going to show you how to make them. As I said, this is a very old die. And we'll put these aside. And we will start with the one I'm going to use. It's the same size on all 4 sides. Okay, here's the one I want here. You need 2 pieces of chipboard, matboard, or something that's heavy to make these. And then you will need 2 pieces of cardstock, and I chose this color. Also, you need 2 pieces of plastic. I don't know if you can see these or not, but I cut them from a strip that was on a box, and this is how tall it was. So I just cut down the strip and then have been slicing that little strip into little squares, and that's what I'm using. I'm making sure that the square is fairly clean, and we shall begin putting our slide mount together. First thing you're going to do is have an image. I took the butterfly, and since I have that punch, I had already cut a butterfly out of alcohol ink. So I put them back to back, and the reason being I want them back to back is so that you can look at the frame from either side. So we'll put the colored side up first. That's the side I'm going to look at. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is take one of my frames. I'm going to find the back side, and I'm going to put a plastic square on top of it. Now you want your glue, and I'm using this art glue, designer art glue. It dries clear. And I'm putting it on my frame. I'm not getting it real close to the edge because when I mash it down, that glue is going to spread, but I don't want it to spread on top of the frame itself because then I have to try to get it off. Okay. Now I have put my frame with my clear plastic together. Next goes the image. As I say, I have double-sided my image. Now this one is on a piece of vellum, so I did not double-side it. And if you feel right here, you can feel that that's a sticker. And I don't really care for that. But it was on a vellum, and I thought, well, I'll just save one piece of my plastic. I'm doing it like these. The leaves. I put the leaves together with some glue, like I've done here. And then, even though this glue dries clear, I'm only putting a dot, just enough to hold the butterfly in place. So the whole thing is doubled. I'm going to tilt it just a little bit. Now, as you see, it's got a little dab of that glue, but that should dry clear. That half is done. Now I want to take the other half of my slide mount, and I'm going to put plastic on it. So I have this, and now I'm going to set it right on top. And I want it even. And then I want to hold it down with a clamp. There we go. That will hold the pieces together a little bit. I'm going to try to do that at an angle. So you want the sides to be flat. Now, while that is drying, I'm going to get some of the other stuff that we'll be using. I'm going to be using some gesso, Modge Podge this time. I'm going to use Modge Podge. I'm going to get out a piece of wax paper. Next thing I'm going to do is get my distressing ink, and that's tie-dye, and my tool, and my water. And then I also have a piece of rice paper, and it doesn't matter if it gets wrinkled, because only thing I'm going to do is tear a couple pieces off. I'll have them ready to go. Okay. Slide mount is set for a few minutes. So I'm going to take my ink pad and put it on my wax paper. I'm not putting a whole lot, just a little. Well, we'll leave that open. And then I'm putting a couple drops of water. Now I'm going to take my frame and I'm just dabbing it in the ink. It doesn't matter what it looks like. I just want to get some ink on here. And I don't want to get my paper too terribly wet, but I do want some color. And then I want the other side done. Next, I take my applicator and I'm gonna kind of spread this ink a little bit and darken the frame up. As I say, it doesn't matter that it's uneven. That's what you want. In other words, I kind of like that light in there. You want the, I have flipped it over now, you want the frame to look old. Okay, I've just about gotten all I want on it for right this minute. Now, you wondered about the pieces of paper. I'm going to take my Modge Podge. This is what I'm using, Modge Podge. Take my little brush in, I just want a little in here. Now I'm going to decide where I want it. I think I'm going to put it right here. Putting my paper in there. And this kind of will give my frame a corroded look, shall we say. Get just a little more. What I'm doing is actually mashing it down into the Modge Podge. And we will let that dry a couple of minutes. You can see I'm smoothing it out into the rest of the frame, even though I've got the paper itself messed up. And we'll do another piece. We'll do it in the same place, same side. Just up a little further. Okay, get this piece to lay down like I want it to do. So when all else fails, you use your fingers. Needs a little more. Okay. Go let that dry a little bit. Gives it a little roughness on the side. Wipe my hands, see. Okay, now let's see what kind of decor shall we put on here. I was thinking about this little hummingbird. And I'm going to put him up here at the top of my distressed area. And since it's got the Modge Podge kind of underneath that up there, he'll stick in with it. Okay. Now, this is not finished, so don't panic about that. That's not finished. Okay, the dragonfly, I think I'll put on the other side. And I believe I will put a couple of leaves here. Let me see if I can find some that will work. I'm just putting a dot of glue on the back of these, because it should hold once they dry. Then if necessary, I can go back and dab a little bit at the top of the leaf. But for right now, I'm just putting some right in the middle of the back. Now, this particular leaf, the last one I put on, this one, it's sticking over, so I'm going to trim that off. I don't want anything go from one side, can be seen from the other side. I'm waiting for my Modge Podge to finish drying. And in the meantime, we'll see what we can do to this side. Okay, my piece is just about dried. While it was drying, I moved my hummingbird to the other side, and I clipped the little piece in here. This was round, I clipped it in here so it wouldn't go over the frame. In fact, it flew over here and stuck to the side, which is fine. I had that little piece of salvage left over on the side of the frame. Now what I'm going to do, you notice my leaves are sticking over, and I don't want them to stick over. So I'm going to cut them off. Turn it this way. Now if you want, you can, if you make this and you decide you want the leaves to stick over, that's fine. But this is the way I have mine, because I didn't want anything sticking over on the side. Now this is a little sticky, but we'll see if it'll work. And we'll get this out and see if we can discolor this any. it should discolor, because I don't want it real yellow like the piece of paper was. As I said, this is rice paper. I got this the other day on Amazon. It was a little different than what I expected, but I got 65 sheets like this, all different colors, some with flowers inside and everything, and you can see how much I've used. And I've made, well, this is my fourth frame that I've used it on. And so those 65 sheets should last my lifetime. Now, I've put a little more in here because I want that kind of discolored, but I want it to have a little texture. And I got a little piece here that wants to stick out. So what we'll do here with him is take the scissors and just clip that little edge off. I've got a little bit sticking over here. Now, when I make something, I usually have a primary side and a secondary side. This is my secondary side. I didn't do as much to it. I honestly couldn't find anything that I had that would work. I've got some leaves like this, which I'll cut up and put on the other one, but there's just not enough room to do much with this. So this is my secondary side, and this is my primary side, one with the colored butterfly. Okay, let's get some of this up and see what we've done here. I'll show you all 4 of my slide mounts. This one goes this way this time. Here's another one that I did with a butterfly, and it's double-sided also. And I did the rough area here. And here's one that's single. Now, if you make these, don't forget to put a double plastic and use a double frame. It's much nicer than the single. As I said, this is my primary side, but I can feel that sticker, and this side I can't. I should have put 2 in there. It wasn't necessary, but if you're going to do something right, you want to do it right. And so you really need 2 plastics and 2 frames and 2 covers. So I'm going to show each one of them to you, and then I hope you liked this tutorial. If you did, please leave a comment, and please come back to see me and see what I have in store for you next time. Have a great crafting day. Bye.